Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, I'm going to be going through what we're doing here in the turn to come. Well, in the, well, what is to be, essentially. So, we did have a successful turn last turn, which was really quite nice. Well, this turn. So it's weird, nebulous, like, terminology when it comes to turns and days in this. I need to get into the habit of just saying the dates. So on the 29th of December, we had a good day. Well, the evening into the 29th of December, we had a very good day, really. So if we take a look then, we did manage to strike lucky. We had the light cruiser Yabari and the destroyer Hasu engage in a allied AP over here, actually. Rushamba, I can't pronounce that. But she took obviously 22 shells. We did hear some sinking noises, so I'd imagine she went down. Now, we did actually find ourselves quite happily surprised that there were allied troops aboard here, 183 of these guys. Now, that's interesting. I do not know what he would actually have in Luzon that could be transferred out. But I don't imagine it's something he would have liked to have lost. He deemed it necessary to try and save it, and then we found and engaged President Madison as well, which is nice. Yeah, she was on fire and heavily damaged there. We did find the Canopus, which is a submarine center, but unfortunately we didn't have the ammunition to engage there. We did unfortunately have one of our own A6M2s here, luckily shot down over at Rangoon. But good news is we are obviously attacking Rangoon. Going to begin to really increase the pressure there. We have our Ki-48 still engaging over here at Singapore. And we've been bombing the actual forces there on the ground at Singapore, trying to just keep their disruption of their fatigue up there, to be honest. Try and keep up the damage there as we can. We are going to be attacking at Singapore, not tomorrow, but it will be the 31st of December when we order the attack, likely. Well, no, actually, we'll order the attack on the 30th, and then the attack will begin on the 31st, and it seems. So we may have it by the 31st of December, likely 31st of December into the 1st of January at very latest, I'd imagine. We did invade over here at Ambon, and things actually did go remarkably well. Tsurushima Maru, taking 3 shell hits, she was set aflame. Nichirio Maru there takes a hit. A few casualties, we inflicted casualties from the bombardment. A few casualties from the unloading process. At Malacca, we had a nice victory. We did force a couple of units to surrender, namely the Punjab battalions, which did surrender, which is very nice. So quite fortunate, we had 8 casualties. We inflicted 2,793 over here on the Allied forces in Malaya. So we're going to be looking to round them off and finish it up there. We saw a bombardment over here at Ambon, which we only saw that it's only a small deal of actual AV there at Ambon. So we are going to be ordering an attack. The attack will go forward tomorrow. Now, what I've done here is I've got this force that's still going to be following this one over here, which is going to be the one that continues to unload, as we do need more supply. So we do have a couple hundred tons of supply here, a couple thousand tons of supply, in fact 6,000 tons there. I'd like to turn Ambon into one of our own bases in the near future as well, and that level 4 airfield is always a good thing there to have. So that will be coming up. We did see this force over here, which is rather intriguing. It looks like an AVP likely, or some sort of AM, or also some sort of light vehicle, light vessel, from potentially some aspect of the Dutch East Indies there, really. Likely from the base over here at Lindholm. Now, the interesting thing is we still have not gotten a sighting of his carriers. It's, I don't know, it's hard to say. I feel like he could be potentially in this sort of area here. He may be potentially going north. Maybe our detection just isn't as prestigious as we'd like to think. Oh, good, we have a H6K4 that can be transferred to Roynemerva, actually. So what I've been doing, I'm going to continue to move the Kidapati further south. In fact, I'm moving Oilers down to the south as soon as possible. We do have, over here, 2 fast Oilers, the Nippon Maru, Kokuyo Maru here. These are 19 Nauters that are escorted by the Hashidate and Ishigake, and as well as the Kitakami. So, they'll be moving quickly. They're not fully loaded, they have 963. I didn't think it was worth the time here to fully load it. We do need to get fuel here to the Kidapati shortly. We can continue to move with the Kidapati for some time. I did actually take fuel from a vessel here. These 2 guys over here unfortunately didn't get enough fuel to continue with the actual force. So what I'm going to be doing here is assembling AKs and AKLs to Lagi. And the destroyers that are not fully refueled will move here to take fuel there. And then link back up with the Kidapati. But you can see that we do have a little bit more fuel in the Kidapati now. So we can indeed continue to cruise. But yes, I would like to, well, this is it. I may take... Either way, we need more fuel. I'm not fond of having so few escorts there, really. But we'll have to manage. Okay, so the H6K over here. Right, you can go to Roynama and join your fellows there. There is potential for a third American carrier to be potentially in the Pacific. It's likely somewhere. We did see something about torpedo bombers reported from one of our submarines, actually. So it could be potentially out there. So what I'm going to be doing then is, it's a nice segue over here. Oh, I do have multiple assets moving south into the area. Fuel moving back to the Bal and additional auxiliary ships and some auxiliary ships moving engineers moving down to Tulagi. I'm going to turn Tulagi into a major base, essentially. Maybe we'll even potentially base a air HQ there and turn the island bases around it into a true fortress too. Over here then, I am fueling up a replenishment, so that's another, not this one. This one is being fueled over here. This one could be used to actually fuel and keep the maintenance of Karga and her mission. They can just be disbanded for the time being. Right. I'm loading these troops over here. I'm loading supply as well. These ships over here and the actual troops of the base force will be used to take control of Wake and obviously garrison Wake when we do conquer it. Karga will be leading a task force. She will be leading the Haruna, Hiei, Kirishima and Ashigara, as well as multiple destroyers over here. What she's going to be doing then is remaining here for the time being, as I do have a regiment underway. So we have this regiment underway over here, which is the 33rd Regiment. They're not carrying much in the way of supply, but I've got them set to head straight towards Wake. What we'll do then is, around about this point, we'll have the actual Karga and her task forces actually move north over here then to actually escort them in. And the good news is the situation is different. We do have H6K4s flying out from Marcus Island. We have H6K4s over here at Roynama as well. These guys are running the extended range, which I'm going to go ahead and increase the amount of rest there. It's very tough on the aircraft. I've got to bear that one in mind. I am sending submarines forward to Wake Island to actually mine the island. So if we can ideally prevent him from actually moving in reinforcements or moving in it, well, potentially withdrawing, that'd be quite nice. And but we'll see, Wake isn't too far from fallen. We fought and we bled for Wake. We'll take it in the future, and once we take it then, it will be finally ours. It's something that we can't allow to stand. He knows that. The good news is his carriers are down here, at least the majority of his carrier strength is down here. There's still another American carrier. Now that would be quite the threat. The good news is at least, I mean, with a single carrier it is still dangerous, and I wouldn't have the actual Karga really sent into it to engage one-on-one, really. We do have a strong force with her. So what we'd likely do then is use land-based aviation to support us, really. It does make me wonder if I should actually base something over here in Niwatok. But even with a Niwatok, it's 13 away from Wake. Which is alright, but it's, well, 14 from Wake. It's alright, but it's not close enough to really make that much a difference. Naval search is also going to be the big thing there. Oh, also, over here at Marcus, I did unload the 36 JNAF over here, like an actual aviation unit. I'm loading up the 8th base force to return it to Japan, to Tokyo. I've refueled these ships over here. I've left a escort to remain behind. The destroyers will be sent back to Tokyo to go to undergo repairs at a shipyard. There's a escort here. There's also a PB on the way here. This force of destroyer and patrol boat is moving back to Marcus, where they can refuel and then move back to Japan. Okay. So in the Dutch East Indies, yes, as I discussed over here, we are unloading patrol in here. I am unloading here the 11th Air Fleet, which is going to be good. That means that we will have torpedo capability at Kendari, or Kendari, Kopang, Makassar. So we will have torpedo capability all three. A good thing here is what I could potentially do is take the 11th Air Fleet, take this base, and actually have the 11th Air Fleet positioned here, possibly, to allow usage of torpedoes from all these bases here, but namely Makassar and Kendari, with just one headquarters. The headquarters over here, the 5th Air Division, could be potentially moved there. But likely what I'll do is take the 5th Air Division, or even the 11th Air Fleet, and have one of them moved into the Timor area. Likely the 11th Air Fleet, to be honest. The reason being, it has that range. If I go ahead and take a look over here. Yes, it has command radius of 5. So I think I will have it positioned at one of these islands over here. Which would mean that, possibly that one there. Yes. Yep. All these bases are within range. So if we take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could even build an airfield there if I wanted. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yes, I mean, that's the thing. It would allow us to potentially build up nearly 20 air bases there, which would be quite solid, and obviously we'd have the air bases over here at Mexark and Dari. If given time, we could turn this area into a true aerial fortress, really. Essentially just a series of airfields from which we could move air power to and fro, and be able to use it really aggressively or defensively, depending on the situation. I do toy the idea of actually throwing torpedoes out at Darwin. Though for the time being, I do not like the fact that we don't have the information required to really make a call where the enemy CVs are. So I'm going to just maintain naval search, just trying to keep an idea of what's going on in the area. These guys, I mean, they're no threat to me right now. It is apparently a cruiser. I think it might be a Australian cruiser, or potentially a Royal Navy cruiser. Even I don't think it's a Dutch cruiser. I think we sank all the Dutch cruisers. But either way, what I want to do then is just keep tabs on them. They can't really go anywhere at this moment in time. If they do attempt to go somewhere, I will obviously try to sink them. But yeah, they're not a tremendous threat right now. But I don't want to go into Darwin without knowing what sort of air power might be there. We do have the zeros to do it, but I need to know where the enemy is first and foremost. Alright, it seems we need some pilots over here. Right. It has this tendency to take pilots out of the squadrons for some reason. I didn't need as many pilots, but I can move them elsewhere then afterwards. Seems 2 of them are gonna, 3 of them are stuck, so that's rather annoying. Well, it'll take some time, but we'll have all the pilots available shortly then. And so yes, we do have the squadron over here. I just need to decide what I want to do. I need to have some sort of confirmation of where the enemy carriers are, to be honest, before we can make a true informed decision. As far as it goes over here, if I take a look, the carrier fighters running 40% here. Yeah, their morale's not exactly great. Fatigue's not too bad. I'm going to have these guys go up to 60% as well. I don't like the fact that he knows where we are. That's what I don't like. I'm half tempted to move out towards this position or just further out this way. But we'll see. We'll continue on down south for the time being. The beauty is if I carry on south, at least we are in a position where mayhaps he doesn't have search. He likely will though. We'll see. He might be going south as well. I want to try and prevent him from just cutting across here and potentially causing mayhem by heading north back up this way. We need to try and seize Wake Island, essentially. But the good news is Ambon will be falling tomorrow. I'm loading forces up over here at BLeAcHACiD. So I'm loading up the regiment here. What I'm going to do then is have them... Oh, they're already sent for Benjamin, which is good. I'm bringing the 2 heavy cruiser groups down here to the south. They're going to be acting as an escort. I've moved some Ki-43s over here to actually act as a long-range cap as well to cover them, which would be quite good. I do desperately need additional aviation units over here, but what I'll be doing then is in time moving forces down this way. We're not too far away from that. But what I'll be doing here then... I mean, we're kind of in a position when I've got... The zeros that would have been at Palembang are down here at Kopang. Obviously, we have additional zeros over here at Kendari. So obviously the fighters that would have been covering a lot of the movements down to the Java Sea are kind of busy at this moment in time, but I don't think they're going to be busy for too much longer. I do have plenty of these forces moving out. These guys are going to go and hunt, They're heading to Yokohama Yokosuka to go repair. They're heading to Bibaldwarp for some light repairs and obviously to take these important ships back home. They're headed to Jolo. There's not an escort available for them, but they're only low points. I don't think there's subs here right now. And these two PBs are escorting the Rio de Janeiro and the Aracal down there to Kopang. I'm going to get some fuel moving down there to Kopang. So what I'm doing is over here at Bibaldwarp is... So that's docked. I'm loading up 4 smaller tankers so I can actually take 5k units of fuel down here to Kopang. And then I'm going to use that as my submarine base. We are going slowly and painfully through the process of assigning submarines to where they will ultimately reside. A lot of the submarines are actually moving back in here, which is good. I'm going to see if we can have some additional ones sent out this way in the short future. Many 16,000 endurance submarines are heading over here to Panamashiro-jima. They're going to be used over here in the north. I do have forces moving towards Panamashiro-jima. I'm taking additional patrol boats as well and additional assets to load up with supply to head over here to Panamashiro-jima. But we do have, importantly, on its way a small SLF unit and a koi and some aviation there. So they're heading that way to Panamashiro-jima. And so what I'd like to do then is actually take a look at... Yes, take a look at actually taking this island over here, but building it up then. So I'm going to try and get enough supply in place to take that. Ideally, it would be empty. To get some HCSK-4s or some sort of aircraft unit established out there would be really quite nice. We need to try and push the envelope as much as we can, really. Over here in Sumatra, I'm moving forces. I do have the SLF over here at Djambe, but they're going to remain until aviation moves into Djambe with them, and then we'll take the base there. We're marching south over here with the Yokosuka. The Sasebo 8th SLF decided to go this way, but they're going to march this way to Benklin. We'll take Benklin. We do have 2 regiments over here that are waiting the fall of Singapore to clear the mines as well. So then we can go ahead and take Medan and Sabang as well. Just take Northern to Sumatra, really. Most of our forces in Malaya are heading to a low star, where I'm going to have them move then to Georgetown. And what I'll do is I'll have AKs and obviously transports move up the Straits of Malacca, have them pick up these forces from Georgetown. Georgetown being a size 4 port and airfield as well, it's going to be really good. Things will go very quickly. But I do need to clear the mines there as well. But what I'll do then is I'll have most of the forces sent to Georgetown. I could have them sent to Victoria Point, but it's only a size 1 port. And then what we're going to do is have them made available to land at Pegu, and then we're going to look towards the conquest of Rangoon. The Minikid Batai obviously has taken some pounding in recent days, unfortunately. But what I'm going to do then is have it move from here to here, and then have these BBs actually link up with them as well. And then what we'll do then is we'll have it move towards naval search, really, to where we can actually be covered by our own air umbrella. There are still ships down here. I would like to try and find them. I'm sending subs out to try and find them. If they are reachable, then we will go ahead and attack them. But we know they're not going to be too far. What I'm going to do then is make sure we actually do have the carrier cover available to us to actually move upon Pegu, which is not too far away. We're going to continue with the actual bombing campaign against Pegu shortly, which is going to be quite good. So yes, we're just gearing up. I do have 3 Naval Guard units sent to assemble over here at Jolo. They're going to take some time to arrive. But what I will be doing then is taking the BBs. They're going to head over here to Manado. I'm going to have the BBs escort the AKA Kishino to Jolo. And then what I'll do is have the BBs, as well as the Naval Guard units, assembled to go ahead and take Tanakan. And Tanakan's going to be a pain. It's going to be a massive pain. We know that there are coastal guns there that are quite nasty. But what I'll do is have the battleships actually available for their armour, and obviously for their firepower to take the base, really. It's a nasty position. 3 Naval Guard units are sufficient. Another consideration is I could just assemble, like, low-value AKs and send them all into Tanakan at once, but the issue is we know that's going to come with quite the cost there. It's a difficult one, really, because obviously oil and fuel is the lifeblood. But we'll see. We'll see. Heavy cruisers potentially, but it's one of those of where the heavier the actual escorting ship is, that means the heavier the bombardment. So that means that there might be more infrastructural more infrastructure damage to Tanakan. But we've got time. I'm going to have them move north anyway, so we'll decide if we want to actually use them at Tanakan. Okay. So we have these guys here. There has been plenty more. I'm going to have more escorts assigned to this force as well. We do have AKs that have come online as well, so I'm sending them out to certain positions. I'm sending a couple of AKs over here to Mersing, so they can actually be available to rearm the MKB, as well as additional ships as we move north into the Indian Ocean. So they're moving to Mersing. I'm sending... There's currently 6 that will be heading down here to Bibaldwab. There's going to be more AKs that will be available shortly. I think there's either 1 or 2 that's heading towards Truk. I think it's 2 that's heading towards Truk at this moment in time from Japan. But we will have more AKs. I think I'll have them split into groups of about 6 or so. Obviously, what we want to do then is in the future, if we're using the Kitapatai, for example, we want to have like an AK for each carrier or each battleship, essentially. And then we have the ability to rapidly rearm, which is going to be quite good. But we are getting to a good critical point now. I was going to bombard over here at Clark. What I'm going to do though is instead have them rest and just shake off more of this fatigue and disruption. I do have additional forces arriving next turn, so I think I'll wait for them. What I'm also doing is I'm telling the 65th Brigade over here to actually begin marching to Clark. It's going to take them 2 days, which means that they'll still be able to act as a garrison here. We do have elements of the 2nd Division marching as well. They're going to be in Clark tomorrow, it seems, and then they'll be marching upon... sorry, they'll arrive in Lingayen tomorrow, and then we can have them continue to march upon Clark. There is an additional element of 2nd Division over here heading south, which is only support, but I do have a 2nd Tanker Regiment heading to Clark as well, so they're heading south. So it's going to be like a constant stream of units moving through Lingayen, but the good news is once we do take Clark, then I can turn around and take Iba. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile holding on, given the actual divisions here have had time to rest, and then we can actually attack and force. I could even wait for the actual brigade to increase our AV even more so. But what I'm doing here is I've awaited the arrival of independent engineer regiments, of which there's another 3 in the South China Sea that's not far away. So yeah, we'll await the artillery, give them some time to rest, and then we'll attack. We might attack and then have like 2-3 days between it or something like that. There's not that much AV here. It could be worse. It could move these forces from Manila here. It's a terrible one. But we do have the forces to take. It's probably just going to take some time. But I think it's worthwhile to rest now. And then just attack at once and just make sure we go for it all at once. Because a lot of these forces do have fatigue as well, which is not great. So they do need to rest. That's the important one there. I do have 14th Army here, which is obviously Plan of Clark. Additional headquarters would be good down here, to be honest. Now, if I take a look, that's moving out. Let's see. Right, a couple units there. I was going to send a headquarters over here to Bibaldwab. Engineers moving there. Where is it? Let's see. Here we go. We have 5th Fleet. I was going to send that to Bibaldwab, but considering that it looks like his carriers aren't heading that way, what I'm going to do then is actually have this sent to Jolo. Now, I believe command headquarters, it says their radius is 9, but I think they can actually affect combat within 18. So we'll do that. Have them sent to Jolo. I'll have to double check that. But I think that's correct. And I could potentially have it sent to Legazpi, but at least it'd obviously be definitely within range, perhaps. But I think Jolo's fine. That's where we do have cover. And I'll have to double check it, but I think it's within 18 they can affect combat. So what we'll do is obviously have it planned for like Bataan or Clark or Manila, and then I'll give us additional headquarters, which is good to have there. But more forces will be freed up from Manila shortly. We did take Malacca, so what I'm doing is actually marching the elements of the 4th Division North here to actually combat this force. The armor's going to move up this way along the major road here towards Kuala Lumpur. We are going to be attacking over here tomorrow with the 466 AV. The good news is we did force forces over here at Low Star to surrender, which was really good. That was like 200 odd AV, which is just wiped out there. So there's not much left in Malaya. We are we're just cleaning up at the moment. We're moving from the south, moving over here from the east. We're moving obviously from the north, obviously south. And these forces obviously moving south as well. So we're marching from the south and from well, yeah, just marching south, marching north there really. It's looking good. In China, I will be attacking over here tomorrow. Taking this base I can't recall the name of. Yes, taking that base. And then we'll be marching upon Luoyang. You can see that we do have major road to Luoyang, which is good news. Luoyang's also a clear city, which is good. It will be a, it would be a shock attack if I do that. But, might not be too bad. I may decide to not go for it due to the river. I might decide to march south, but we'll see. I can essentially take my time, really. I do toy with the idea of actually moving forces over here to the north as well. There's like one enemy unit in the mountain. So what I might do is actually send a couple divisions over here to the north to take control of this area here. But yeah, we'll decide on how to do things. That river does complicate things, but it's still 3k AV. I'm pretty sure it would be able to march across that and take in a shock attack without really much in the way of issues. There are additional divisions heading back up here as well, so we'll have more forces on the southern flank too. So yeah, China's one of those where we do have the ability to take our time to an extent, which is good. Let's see, is there AKs here? Yes, we do have another one here. So this one can head towards truck as well, in fact. Right. So we'll go with that. So that's going to be a couple more heading down to truck, which is good. We'll get these properly organised in the future as well, which is nice. So things are going well. Things are going well. We're preparing to move upon the Aleutians, preparing to move upon the Indian Ocean, preparing to move upon Java in the near future, really. We need to secure Sumatra before we move on Java, really. To a decent extent, just neutralise it. I'm going to be moving upon Binjamaster in the near future as well, so we'll have that neutralised. Ambon's going to be gone shortly, which means it removes all air threat from this area here. There's only a couple more air bases left to take, but what we'll do then is we'll just have something that is nicknamed backfilling, where we'll just have like APDs or AKs or AKLs or whatever you want to call it, just units even potentially used on fast transport to take all these bases that are empty, so that'd be good. I'm sending this Naval Guard unit from here to take this base and then to take this base, and then we'll have the entirety of Timor under our control. Should be good. Yes, indeed. And what we'll be doing then is once Luzon has fallen in completely, is we'll move then upon Mindanao. I mean, Mindanao's a bit of a problem, but it's one of those of where he can move forces there, but then with all these air bases that are fallen, he's going to find it harder to move out of there. So it's one of those of where he's just looking to evacuate, really. He's looking to evacuate, which is quite nice. Right, okay. Oh, over here at Kotobaru, I decided to go ahead and upgrade the first Sentai C detachment to Kai-43 C Oscars. So you can see we'll have 14 of those available in a few days, so 4 days we'll have another 14 of those guys available for action, which is good news. So yeah, we'll go with that then. It's a bold future that we're looking towards moving to. I don't see there being many threats. I feel better having increased the actual cap of the Kitapatai. We do have H6K4s over here as well, which is nice. It's quite encouraging, because it means that at least we are fairly aware of what's in the area. Which is obviously a very good thing. I think I'll have them operate at normal radius. It's nice to do the 25, but... Actually, no, we're going to continue at 25. I need to know where the enemy is. I can move more H6K4s in the future here. I am moving more aviation support over here to Talag as well, so we'll be able to look after them. Yeah, we're nearly at a level 1 airfield. Obviously, having an airfield would be quite nice. That'll help us out. Moving engineers down here too. What we'll be doing then in short order is moving to take these bases like Buna and Gazmata. I'll be looking to take Port Moresby as well. We just need to get the actual engineers and get the actual shipping back into the area. Get the lifeblood back into the area. And then we can look towards taking Port Moresby with the Kitapatai cover. But I'm continuing to move south. The reason being I don't want to give him the impression that we have just ceded the initiative as such. If he's moving south, I don't want him to actually just be able to move around here. I want us to be able to keep moving there. Indeed. But we have plans in place to take Wake, which is good. Wake will finally fall on the third attempt. But this is it. When it does fall, it'll be worthwhile. We are continuing to push him, we just need to continue to push him even harder. push and spread as far as we can. We have taken some solid objectives. I mean, taking BLeAcHACiD, Summerlinda, Palembang, and Tanakar's not too far away. Also, we do have other oil and refinery centres to be capturing shortly. But the major one here for us will be to capture Singapore within the next 2 to 3 days, I'd imagine. Clark's going to be an interesting one. It is Times 3 terrain, but there's only so much it can do here versus such a mighty ensemble of force, really. So it will crack, and we are moving additional engineers. We could move additional men, additional artillery to lose on, and crack it, really, sooner rather than later. So there's only so much it can do there. I do toy with the idea of bombarding, but I think it's still worthwhile just to give them that chance to rest there. Allow the additional men to move in. Yep, you can see over here we have 3 independent engineer units that are moving in very quickly now. Have them move in directly. I can have destroyers actually go out and link up with them. The sooner they can get here, the better, really. Let's see. It looks like they're taking that same path anyway. I'll have some destroyers sent out to escort them. So, follow that task force. There we go. Okay, so we're looking good. Thank you for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You guys are awesome. You definitely make it... You definitely help. It's really, really awesome. I really do appreciate the level of support that you guys give me. It's really quite humbling. So when I get a list up of patrons, I will give you the names of you fine fellows. I think what I might do, I don't know. If people could let me know, would you prefer me to do the shout-outs in the end? Or would you prefer like some sort of like scrolling screen and then at least people can see all at once and it doesn't take a few minutes? I don't know. Trying to figure out what people like. But a big thank you to Mr. Alex, Diligent Grey, Mr. Baines, BLeAcHACiD, Deepic Duck, Dinglebat 4, Eric Wild, Erkkijuusto, Fun4123, George Kilgore, Gregory VanHouten, Iceycrome, Imperator Thrawn, James Lindsay, Lord Luba, Ove Cato Borsheim. Thank you very much for that, my friends. My good Norwegian friend, thank you so much. And to Paradigm Blue, to Paul Sanders, to Raphael, to Rick Chambers, members of the Assembly, to Ricky Blinson, Sam, spacht, Stanislav. These names are getting too close together. SunYan, Susanna, Daniel, Talon1E, The Forgotten Thunder, and Lindholm. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you all of you who are viewing the content now. Yeah, as ever, terrible outros. Nailed it. Until next time, Tenno Heka Banzai.